footy. Been a while. Sorry we haven't done a show in about a week and a half. We've all had busy schedules, so yeah, we've put the team together, and we've got three of us on today just to chat about the trade period and to chat what we think is going to happen in the next few hours. So we've got just myself, we've got Liam, and we've got Beach today. So we're going to open up with something a bit different today. So normally we'll do a Russo's Rager, which everyone loves and we adore. But today we're going to do Jay Who's Jab instead. So Jay, what has made you mad during this trade period?
Yeah, look, Jay Who's Jab of the week here, and it's been tough as being a Collingwood supporter. It's been really tough. To be honest, a bit of my jab this week's going to go to Nathan Buckley and the list management team. Hearing the mismanagement of our contracts, back-ending every contract. It's not AFL evolution, guys. You can't just back-end every contract because it's not going to work, because then everything's going to catch up and we're going to go over the cap. So hearing Stevenson, Treloar out the door, no good, mate. Phillips, I'm okay with, because Josh Dacos sort of come in to replace him. But hearing that we might be getting Neville Jetta and Lockie O'Brien is no good. So I'm really not pleased at all. So list management and Nathan Buckley, got to pull your head in, I reckon.
Yeah, no good, mate. It's really just not good what's going on at the Pies at the moment. A lot of talk. It's not a good look for the culture of the club, really. So yeah, hopefully they can get through it, mate. Hopefully everyone ends up staying and it's happy days.
Yeah, mate. Well, it's not looking that way at the moment. But we could be missing the 8 next season. Looks like we're going for it. The thing is, I think when we get rid of like these players, I'm like, oh, okay, so we want draft picks. We're going to rebuild, and then we go after Neville Jetta. Like, what do you mean? So confused.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all, mate. So we'll be interested to see. Collingwood's obviously probably going to be one of the big. Collingwood and the Bulldogs obviously be the two biggest players in the last 2 hours of the trade period. So, which is set to begin at 3 p.m. So we will come to you live and let you know if any live deals happen during this vidcast in the next 20 minutes. So yeah, keen for that. All right, so we'll just start with something that already happened. Sorry, mate, what was that?
I've got AFL headquarters in my ear ready to go, so I'll be listening live.
Yeah, perfect, mate. Yeah, we absolutely love that. All right, so we'll just start with the deals that have already happened. So we've got Peter Wright. He's gone to Essendon for a 3-year deal, just for a future 4th round selection.
I've just got to cut in. I've just got to cut in. Sorry, mate. I've just received word from AFL headquarters.
Yeah.
Jack Higgins has just been traded to St Kilda.
Hey!
So that's just through 1 minute ago.
That is actually live.
That is live.
For what pick?
So Richmond are receiving pick 17 and a 2nd round pick, future 2nd rounder. And St Kilda are going to cop Jack Higgins and pick 21. So essentially, and also a future 4th. So essentially, it's St Kilda get Jack Higgins and a 4th rounder, and Richmond will get a 2nd round pick. So it's it's not a bad little deal there for both parties, I reckon.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Gives Higgins more opportunities. So we'll see how he goes. I feel like though, I don't know. I think it's a bit like, I understand he wants to play footy a lot all the time, but I feel like he thinks he's going to get a walk-up start at the States. I don't know if he'll get a walk-up start.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not sure. I'm a bit unsure on the Hig. What do you reckon, mate?
I don't think Higgins is a walk-in, that's for sure. When you got a pretty fast forward line with Butler and things like that already, so he's going to have to work his way in there for sure. So I do rate the pick-up. It's another small forward, which is good, but again, Jack Higgins has been out of footy for a little while now, so you don't know how he's going to perform.
Yeah, exactly right. We should see how that plays out. All right, thanks for that update, Liam. We really appreciate you just giving us the live news. We love that. All right, so just quickly back to Peter Wright. So yeah, as we said, future 4th round selection. So I reckon that's a steal. So 3-year deal. Not sure the monetary terms, but I think apparently Gold Coast are paying some of his salary potentially or something as well. So that's a really good pickup. Liam, what are your thoughts on that, mate? Because we know you have some intel actually about Peter Wright.
Yeah, I've got the inside news here because I know the family, know them well, and I always sort of had a feeling he was coming back to Melbourne because I don't know, but I actually did ask because I'm friends with his sister, went to school, graduated with her, whatever, and it was the old he's like building the dream house on the Gold Coast. Didn't think that he was going to leave until basically
really?
Gold Coast told him. Dewey met up with him and said, "Mate, your future is dim at the Suns." So so it looks like he was sort of pushed out the door. But I rate the move, to be honest, because he was on the big bucks. He was on, I can report, between 500 and 550 a season. And looks like the Suns are paying about 150 of that while he's at the Bombers. So it's a good pickup by the Bombers with the future 4th round pick. I reckon he's a really good pickup.
Yeah, I agree, mate. He'll definitely, hopefully, he can command that number 1 forward spot because it's just what Essendon need, really. So
yeah, rate it highly.
Yeah.
I think Essendon are obviously lacking a bit of a key forward at the moment. So. Obviously, Peter Wright's been, again, another player that's been out of footy for a little while, but he's always showed potential. So, hopefully he can go there and do something good for him. But we all love it. Right. We all love it that Essendon are sucking. So,
the best thing about it, boys, is that might be able to snag the free Anzac Day tickets now, which is the best part of the deal.
Perfect, mate. No, absolutely no complaints there, eh?
Absolutely no complaints from me, mate.
All right, moving on to in my opinion, a bit of a nothing trade. Melbourne traded Mitch Hannon to the Bulldogs in exchange for a future 3rd round selection.
So be it.
Mate, you've said it all. That's all there is to it.
Is that just a set forget? No one really cares.
To be honest, I thought there would have been a bit of a 4th round pick because you're telling me that Mitch Hannon, who's 26 and he's played 50 games, is worth a 3rd round pick, and then Peter Wright, who has kicked many more goals than him and played more games and is also younger and bigger, and he's worth a 4th round pick. I think it's a little bit overs. I would have expected a 4th round pick, but nonetheless, Bulldogs got their man. So moving on a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he'll provide much benefit, but anyway, I guess they think they need a small forward, so worth a punt. So there he goes.
Yeah. He's more of a role player. He's anything special. It's a bit of a nothing trade, but
I agree. I think it's a bit of a nothing trade as well. So.
Yeah.
Bit of a K Hardigan about it.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, moving on. Next line, we've got Braden Preuss going to the Giants for a exchange for pick 31. So yeah, I reckon that's a really good pickup for the Giants. I actually reckon Preuss is really good. He's just been behind the pecking order, but he was behind Goldstein, then he was behind Maxi Gorlin, so he was really never going to get a game. So I actually think he'll provide a lot of benefits to the Giants, especially when they haven't really had a ruckman for a couple of years. So he'll provide. I reckon he's a really strong ruckman, so he's a bit of bash and crash. He always works hard, so I reckon he'll be able to command that number 1 ruck spot really well.
Yeah, he's very versatile ruckman, which will help out GWS a lot.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Liam? Do you reckon he's good enough to be a number 1 ruckman?
I think that he probably is. I'm surprised that pick 31 was exchanged, to be honest. I thought it would have been more of a pick 40 or 50, but obviously if he didn't go over
the reason why that happened was
26.
because he still had 2 years on his contract, so that was probably one of the reasons why
which is
slightly higher.
Yeah, but
so
at the same time, if he goes over there and plays 22 games a season and has a good season, I reckon if he can do that sort of, maybe if we have like your best ruckman, you have like Gorn, Nick, Nat, Grundy. If he's sort of rounding up that top 5 maybe, or that sort of top 8 in the best ruckman in the comp, then I reckon that's a pretty good pickup. But I think he has the potential. He's a pretty big unit. I reckon he could if he just has like a good solid year, a bit of Sauce Jacobs at the Crows about him when he was over there, sort of just hovering around that top 5 mark, or just missing the 40 of the squad or something. I think that's a pretty good pickup then.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll solidify himself in that team, and he'll be there ruckman for the next 5-6 years. I reckon he's still pretty young. So,
good call.
Quickly, a bit of news. Again, AFL in my ear, just like Liam. Says here this afternoon there could be a trade. Alex Witherman to go to the West Coast Eagles. Lions will get pick 58 and a future 3rd rounder, and Eagles will get Witherman and pick 86.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Actually,
is he actually going to get a game at the Eagles? Like,
I think he's
Yeah.
a gun player, but he's just never got opportunity. So
I think he's good too. We actually, just before we started the potty, we actually just saw that post. But yeah, I reckon it's a pretty good deal for the Eagles. I reckon that's a bit of a steal by the Eagles.
he's a
Bit of 2018 grand final about it.
he's a very, very good ball user, Alex Witherden. So I think he can slot into anyone's back six.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. Even if he plays like half a dozen games every year, he's worth it because they pretty much got him for nothing. So
Exactly.
all right, so
Cool.
moving on to a trade. I reckon it's a bit of a nothing trade, but Western Bulldogs supporters might be happy. Veteran ruckman Stefan Martin has gone to the Bulldogs in a three-way trade, and then Lockie Young's gone to the Kangaroos. So Brisbane pretty much just gave away Stefan Martin. I don't even think they received a draft pick, actually, or they received a very high draft pick. I don't like this from the Western Bulldogs personally. Stefan Martin's about to turn – he's turning 34 in 2 weeks' time. Like, I don't really know how he can be a mentor to Tim English when he's literally on one leg. Like, I don't understand how that's meant to work for him. I'm not sure if you guys agree with me on that one, but yeah, I do not rate that at all.
Well, to be honest, like, I mean, if he gets in the park, I think it's a good pickup. But yeah, you're right. If he's on the one leg, then it sort of takes me back a bit to cast your mind back to 2014 when Ben Hudson was traded to the Pies and he played about 3 games and then retired. Bit of Ben Hudson about it actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, if he gets in the park, good. But otherwise, if he's injured, then it's just a bit of a off-field mentoring role, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like, I think did he sign a 2-year deal or 1-year deal? I can't remember, but
surely they're not signing him on for more than 2 years.
Just a 1 year, I think.
Yeah, it's just a 1 year. He'll be lucky to last a year, to be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Russ.
Mate, you reckon he'll like do the old mid-season retiring or something? Russ, mate, you reckon he's going to retire?
He'll just do the old I am retiring. Like, I cannot play anymore. Like, something will happen, I reckon. But anyway, all right, moving on to the next one. Fucking Adam Saad to Carlton. Boy, oh boy, lots of drama surrounding that trade. So Carlton has obviously had a massive standoff. But yeah, good to see that the deal finally got done. So yeah, 2 days ago, actually yesterday morning, it was reported that they had a massive standoff the day before, 3 hours chat, and then the deal wasn't happening. Then 20 minutes later, they're tweeting that the deal's happening. So yeah, that was really interesting. But yeah, the Blues got their man. They had to send over pick 8 and 87. They got back pick 48 and 78. Yeah, I think I rate it. I was contemplating as a Carl supporter, but I think I like it. I think he provides good value. He's got good foot skills. He's got good pace. Like we need that pace in the back line. So hopefully he could be like that extra piece in the puzzle to sort of help us skyrocket and move up in the ladder and actually play finals next year.
Yeah, well, to be honest, you guys have picked up, I think, probably the 2 best running halfbacks in the game. You've picked up Zach Williams and now Adam Saad. Obviously, Zach Williams probably play more through the middle and things like that. But you lost Cade Simpson, great replacement in Adam Saad. I feel like you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Different players, to be fair, as well. They are very different halfback-wise because, like, Simpson's more the old, supplier of halfback, whereas Saad's more the run-through, take the game on, whereas Simo is probably the more conservative, switch the play, kicking rather than running.
Yeah. What do you think of the trade though, Liam? Do you reckon it's worth it? Do you reckon it was overs? What do you think?
Look, I think that it was probably a little bit overs. I think that when I was thinking of Saad, I was thinking more pick 15 to 20 region. You guys ended up giving up pick 8. And then when I heard that your pick 8 had to be involved, I was like, all right, well then the Bombers should send back a second rounder or at least like a late second rounder max.
Yeah,
and then I heard it was like the late third rounder getting sent back. And I was like, oh. But at the end of the day, I think he was leaving regardless. And Essendon couldn't give up the second rounder because they had to commit it to Caldwell. And I think they were waiting on the Fantasia deal to go through. But big Adrian Adora, a big friend of the show, wasn't happy to part with the 29 pick, which we'll talk about soon. But so they couldn't use that in the deal, which was actually pretty smart by Essendon because they sort of held up the other deal in order to make sure that they would get they wouldn't have to send that second round pick to Carlton, which is clever. But Carlton got their man, so I hope it works out. But probably just overs. But I think it's going to work out well.
Yeah, I think like these days with free agency or trades, like you've always got to play overs to get the players you want. So
yeah, it is a bit like that these days.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now sticking with the Blues, you have Carlton also got Lockie Fogarty from the Cats. So we gave the Cats pick 30 and 51, and then the Cats gave us pick 38 and also Fogarty. So virtually it's Fogarty for pick 51. So I highly rate that. Like we pretty much got him for nothing. He's actually a pretty good player. He just couldn't break into the Geelong team. So yeah, he's another youngster for the Cats that they're losing, which is a worry for the Cats. And I think hopefully good for the Blues. We needed a small forward, obviously, with Eddie Betts on his last leg. So yeah, if he could just all he really needs to do provide pressure to forward, like kick his 25, 30 goals, and I'd be pretty happy, I reckon.
Mate, I reckon that's an absolute steal from the Blues. I reckon he played pretty much every game in his first year. Played a few games last year as well, played a few this year, had some injuries the last 2 years. I reckon that's an absolute steal. He's a local product from the Western Jets.
Hey.
Big fan of the show. I think it's a great pickup. And I reckon you'll see him play half midfield, half forward next season.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I reckon he's pretty handy in the midfield. He's not really a goal kicker. He's more of a tackling setter-upper rather. But, I think he'll be a good pickup. I rate that pickup from the Blues.
Yeah, it's good. Hopefully, that's good. Hopefully you can, we do really need that type of player actually who can play forward midfield. So that should be good for the Blues. Speaking about the Blues giving away pick 30, the Cats then traded that to North Melbourne and got their man there after Shorty Higgins. So pretty much they're losing Fogarty and gaining Higgins, who's 32, signed a 2-year deal. So yeah, what are our thoughts on that? They've brought in a bit more class. I mean, I guess they're going for a flag, so they've taken the punt pretty much.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're going for experience. They've picked up 2 blokes, Isaac Smith, late 20s, early 30s, and Higgins, early 30s. Clearly going for the flag. That's obviously what Hawthorn did. They just picked up, when they wanted to win a flag, they just picked up guys from teams that are mature and old enough and got that experience. So
yeah, exactly.
Look, right. I think it's a good pickup for him. But position wise, I don't know where he plays. Geelong have just got so many forward mid type players, so I just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we should see how it plays out. Also Isaac Smith, as you touched on as well, he's another bit of a good pickup for them. We were speaking about it today, Beej. I think it's not very loyal that he's leaving. I really don't rate him going. I think it's very selfish. Like you've won how many flags? You won 3 flags or 4 flags?
3.
Yeah, why a bloody 3-peat with the Hawks? Like you think my opinion is he should have stayed. He should have helped the young kids. But yeah, he's just been selfish and just going for another flag. So interested to see what you guys think about that.
You can understand if he was like 32 or something and he was going for like a year to Geelong or whatever. I probably wouldn't be too fast. But when you know he's got probably good 2-3 years left in him, he's still got his legs about him. He probably had one of his better seasons, even though he was out for the last month with us. Look, not loyal, but that's what players are these days. They go for money, they don't go for loyalty. So yeah,
exactly right. What do you think?
I don't rate it from the Cats, to be honest. Not a fan of the. It's a good pickup now, but at what cost? I reckon in 5 years they could be in a lot of trouble. The Catters.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like they've got to win if they don't win a flag in the next couple of years, it's just going to be all it will be downhill no matter what. But at least if they win a flag, they can say.
But we also say that we say, oh no, they're going to be in trouble. But how often have we sort of said this about the Cats, and then they've just managed to sort it out somehow with your Tim Kellys and your Sam Menegola types that they pick up in the draft and trade.
Exactly right.
And then all of a sudden they're back in the top 8. I reckon they missed one season in the last 10 years in the top 8. Everyone thought they were going to go on the decline, and then all of a sudden they're back, top 4 next season. So we've seen it time and time again. We sort of saw it with Hawthorn and Sydney as well, as Beej said, in the last sort of 10 years. Sydney, not in the last couple of years, but before that, they had a really long stretch where they were making the 8 and that. Hawthorn was sort of in and out because they sort of, they had their 1 year contending and then the 1 year rebuild and then the 1 year contending. It's a bit of Hawthorn. But yeah, look, it's interesting. It's sort of a wait and see, I guess, with the Catters.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, we should see how that plays out. All right, moving on. Actually, speaking of Geelong as well, they traded former number 10 pick Cockatoo to the Lions in exchange for a future third-round selection. So, yeah, Brisbane pretty much getting him for nothing. He's been injury plagued for a number of years, but, yeah, Brisbane seems to be good at fixing up players that fixed up Lincoln McCarthy. So, yeah, I think it's a really good get for Brisbane. He'll be a good small forward. He can maybe possibly work well with Charlie Cameron up forward as well. So,
yeah, I rate it.
I'm sort of trying to work out where he fits into the team because obviously they've got a lot of those types. You've got your Cam Rayners and your Lincoln McCarthy's, your Charlie Cameron, and they had recently like the Caden Coleman guy come in, and they had guys like that. He looked all right. So it's going to be spots up. Not a lot of spots up for contention in the the Lions lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets a game and who doesn't get a game. So I look forward to that. I mean, he obviously had a lot of talent going up. I remember I was in year 7 when he was drafted, and my teacher was a mad Geelong fan and was very, very happy that they got him because he was so, Cyril Rioli-like, Beach. But it's going to be interesting to see how he goes at the new club. The warmer climate might help the soft tissue injuries and the ligaments and that. So we'll see how he goes.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a bit of even if he doesn't play, it's a bit of they pretty much got him for nothing. So yeah, it's a good project player to have. He's obviously got a lot of potential. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Sticking with the Lions as well. Obviously, it's already well publicised. Joe Danaher's gone to the Lions as well, and Essendon got their compensation was their picks. I don't know, 7, 8, or 9, whichever one it was, or 6, 7, 8 of the picks that they have. Yeah, another good pickup for the Lions if they could get him fit. If they could get him fit, they'll go a long way to winning the flag next year, I reckon. Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, good call.
Agree.
Good call. The 1-2 punch, Hipwood Danaher is going to be dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
That almost allows Dan McStay to float in between forward and back because I reckon Dan McStay is a good mark, but he's sort of an odd kick. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because obviously they've got Harris Andrews up back, and then they've got their other backman is sort of a bit of a roll of the dice. They had Payne come through last season. They had Big Matty Eagles, big fan of the show, and Dan McStay can float through there as well. And then they've also got what's his name? I can't remember his name, but they've got a few options so they can sort of float between forward and back. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the back line now that they've got another forward in there.
Yeah, exactly right. Brisbane's had a good trade period. Really picked up a couple of good players for not a lot. So good on them.
Darcy Gardner.
Oh, Darcy Gardner. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, he's pretty good actually, Darcy Gardner. Yeah. All right, now moving on to the Power. Now, for me, this was a very, very good deal by the Port Adelaide Footy Club, and I'm really surprised Sydney let him go. So Alia has travelled to the Power for a future second-round pick. So, yeah, I'm not sure why Sydney let him go. Like, that actually astounds me. I think he's really good. He still had a year to write on his contract as well. Then they've just let him go. So, yeah, that's shocked me because he was pretty much rucking for most of this year as well as sort of their Mr. Fixer could play in the back line. He was more suited to the back line. I thought he was really good in the back line. So, yeah, really good pickup for the Power, I reckon.
Yeah, steal, I reckon. Massive steal.
I actually reckon it's a good deal for both parties, to be honest. I reckon Alia, considering the Hoff is gone, and obviously he'll be able to play. He's played forward, back, and ruck, so he's played the trifecta. So, obviously he'll be able to help. I don't know if he's going to get a game every week, to be honest, at the Power. I reckon he might be the kind of guy that plays 15 games. I reckon he'll probably play 2/3 to 3/4. I reckon he won't play every week. And I reckon that a second round pick is actually pretty good. I reckon I reckon that's pretty good by the Swans considering they're rebuilding. A second round pick in this year's a good draft. Obviously, Ali's 26. He's hitting his prime now. He's not going to be there for the next flag, most likely. So I actually don't mind the move for both parties. I reckon it's a good deal.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we'll see. Interesting to see how it goes. I actually reckon he'll be a permanent fixture in the Power, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. He's got every chance he will be. So every chance that he will be. a permanent member of the side. But obviously, there's a lot of contention for those spots. We saw Westhoff, drop out of the side, and he's pretty much playing the same role. So, and obviously they've got Georgiades, Marshall, Dixon, and obviously Laddams and Lysette. So they've got a lot of contention for that sort of spot. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I would say I think Alira is probably a little bit better than Marshall.
Yeah, he also might play back as well. We don't know if he played back because obviously it was well documented that there was a what's it called, a bit of a shortage of height in the back line with Jonas and what's the other
Cleary.
Cleary. Yeah, Cleary and McKenzie. Cleary and McKenzie, they were only 190 centimeters, and he's about 195, 196 Aaliyah. And I remember when the Power announced the signing of Aaliyah, when they announced it, they didn't say like swing man, ruckman, or forward. They said that they've signed new defender, Aaliyah, so he could be playing back.
Oh, yeah, true. Actually, that's a good point, actually. I think he'd slot very well into their back line. Like, they did struggle when they're up against high, or when they're up against a player like Tom Hawkins. They got like absolutely monstered. So, yeah, he'll be a good addition for them, I reckon.
Yeah, I read it.
All right, staying with Sydney, Tom Hickey has signed for the Swans. So, yeah, Sydney obviously they needed a ruckman. So, I know he's not the best, but like they needed someone. So, it was kind of whoever was left they had to sign. So, yeah, they've signed him. What are our thoughts?
I mean, obviously they needed a ruckman. So, Hickey was the man. He's proven he's played triple figures games. He's played at multiple clubs, multiple climates. So, he knows how to play. He's not a he's just a C grade ruckman. He's going to just fill a role for the next couple of years. I'm surprised they didn't go for someone like Max Lynch from the Pies, for example. He's been on the list for a few years. Played a game. He obviously was a bit out of his depth, but I think he's probably ready for AFL football at a club. He's also only 22. Had multiple best on grounds in the AFL, I think, and he's also out of contract. So I think a guy like him they could have picked up on the cheap. But obviously, it's a good pickup. They needed a ruckman, so especially with Aaliyah going, they definitely needed a ruckman. So yeah, I rate it.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, I think that's pretty much all the trades that have been confirmed. Actually, Liam, do you have it came across our desk just before the vidcast, the Ben Brown deal? What was happening with that? Have you got that handy?
Yeah, can confirm that Big Benny Brown has officially left the Roos. He's gone to the Demons, and just popped up actually. Melbourne got a steal because it said that he finished second in the Coleman last year, second in 2018, and fourth in 2017. And that's true. They did get a steal. I can confirm that he left. I'm just finding it now on the old.
Pretty sure it was a 4 year. I'm pretty sure it was a 4 year deal.
Yeah, it was a 4 year deal, I believe. Also, McGregor Poirier too just got announced. So UFC fans. But I'm just trying to find it. All I know is that it was on the cheap, Russo. That's what I confirm at the moment, and I'll cross back to you when I find the details.
Mate, I have found it here, mate. Don't you worry. Edmund has reported North Melbourne will receive picks number 26, number 33, and Melbourne's future fourth round selection. The Demons will receive Brown pick number 28 and the Kangaroos future fourth round selection. So virtually they are trading him for pick 33.
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah. Yep. That is like
what?
In my opinion, he's about on par with Jeremy Cameron, and Jeremy Cameron's going for about 3 first rounders, and he's going for a late second round pick, Ben Brown. So
that is a steal, mate. Absolute steal. Melbourne, I reckon that could honestly catapult Melbourne up the ladder next year, getting Ben Brown.
Yeah, well, now they got Ben Brown and upcoming, what's his name, Wiedemann.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's wow. That's bad. That's bad by North Melbourne there. That's real bad.
Tommy McDonald. Yeah, it's pretty poor from the Roos.
Well, it's their own fault. They stopped him around, so they don't really deserve to get much more than that.
I've got news in the piece here. I've got some contract-related news. Jack Loney from the Saints, who was rumoured to be on the move, has signed a 1 year deal has been offered a 1-year deal, yet to sign. He could actually reject that, I reckon, because he could be getting offered 2 or 3-year deals at other clubs. Paddy McCartan linked to the
I haven't really heard
Blues.
much that's interested in him at the moment, to be honest.
What was that? Paddy McCartan's linked to the Blues.
Yeah, he's been linked to the Blues this trade period, and it's been confirmed by list manager Nick Austin that they won't be pursuing Paddy McCartan. And Nick Austin on SEN also said that Lockie O'Brien will be remaining at the Blues in 2021. So he had attracted interest from Collingwood. So that's a really good news for a Pies supporter there. Lockie O'Brien will not be coming to the Pies. Good news.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, so speaking of contracts as well, speaking of the Blues, Eddie Betts confirmed 1-year deal. We were waiting for that to happen. So now that has been confirmed today about 20 minutes ago.
And Jed Anderson re-signed for North Melbourne as well.
Yeah, was previously linked to the Lions. And also from the Lions, David Noble, mate, could be on the way out of the Lions into the Roos for a potential senior coaching role. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah,
Don't rate it. They need someone that's already coached. He's never actually coached, has he? Like
he's like the director of football, so he's like the right hand man. I mean, he's done a bit of coaching, I believe. Also, heavily considered right now is Robert Harvey and Michael Voss. So interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who.
I think Robert Harvey's name always seems to get floated around. He never seems to get a gig. So yeah. Not really sure how that one's going to play out yet.
He's a chance. He's a chance. Yeah, but also we could be seeing a netball coach coaching AFL side apparently. So huge news.
Oh, mate. Yeah, we won't get into that too much, but yeah, that was a bit disrespectful for me as well, how she conducted herself on SEN the other day as well. She actually got interviewed by Gary Lyon and Tim Watson. She was like really disrespectful. She basically thought she was above and beyond and thought she could pretty much jump into an AFL men's senior coaching role straight away. She got asked if she would help out in AFLW. And I can quote, she said her skill set is above AFLW. So, yeah, she's got no knowledge of AFL and just wants to jump into a senior coaching AFL men's role, which I did not rate at all.
Yeah, not a fan. I completely agree there.
Yeah, all right. We'll move on now to the trades that have not happened yet. That could happen today. So it needs to be, all the paperwork needs to be lodged and finalised by 7:30 p.m. tonight. So trades should start getting announced as of right now. Actually, it's currently 3:06 p.m. So the first one we'll talk about is Josh Dunkley. So yeah, he's obviously asked for a trade to the Bombers to get some more midfield time because he's obviously Luke Beveridge, stupidly enough, has been throwing him in the ruck for some reason, which we can't quite understand. So, yeah, what do we think about that? Is he got to get to the Bombers or is he got to end up staying at the Dogs?
I reckon there might be a bit of a stalemate, to be honest. I reckon he'll end up staying at the Dogs.
And on that, I think that if he does stay at the Dogs, it could mean Adam Treloar stays at the Pies. So I think if the Dunkley deal gets through, which, I think it will, to be honest, I think that Essendon will cough up I reckon it'll be pick 6 and like a second rounder. And I reckon the Dogs will accept that. And then I reckon they'll send pick 6 to the Pies for Treloar, in my opinion. I reckon that's what will happen. But it's pretty much like if one doesn't happen, the others aren't going to fall through. So it's like a domino at this point. So wait and see. We're gonna have the earpieces in. We'll listen up to see if anything goes through. But yeah, it could be a last minute deal or it could not happen. We'll have to wait and see.
Do we think is Treloar worth pick 6 with his age and with his hamstring problems?
I think that if he is fit, he is probably one of the best mids in the comp, and he's had some good years. Exactly. Like he's an absolute ball magnet, which sort of goes with the trend of the Bulldogs midfielders. Jack McRae sort of types. If I have him and Treloar in the midfield, if you're getting your hand on the footy that much, then you're a good chance to score more goals. So it sort of fits into their style. They like having their hands on the footy. So I think that for a list that is probably going for a premiership tilt soon, I don't mind it. I do not mind it at all. I reckon pick 6 is pretty fair.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Port Adelaide has confirmed that Michael Voss will be coaching at Port Adelaide next year.
Ooh, that is very big, mate. That is groundbreaking news.
Yeah, so Port Adelaide just put on Twitter, they've confirmed their coaching lineup, and Michael Voss is in that coaching lineup.
Oof, that is extremely interesting there. Now that North Melbourne, I reckon they're going to be looking for a senior coach. Nobody's going to be applying to that role.
I have got news right now from SEN.
Hey.
North Melbourne are heavily into Tom Phillips. So we could be seeing a Tom Phillips, Jaden Stevenson combined trade here.
Ooh. Geez, that would be so. What, Tom Phillips for what sort of draft pick? Do you reckon? Like a late first round pick, maybe for those two?
That's what they was.
I reckon if it's like,
where is it? Hold on.
You go, Benj. You go, right.
No, sorry. Give me 2 seconds. That the Brown deal. They said something about North Melbourne's picks 26 and 33, which they got from the Brown deal, will form a basis of the Kangaroos for Jaden Stevenson.
Oh, okay.
But I reckon if we're doing Phillips as well, that won't be enough. I reckon.
No way.
I reckon it would be a.
I'm pretty sure they had a late first round pick, so they'll need to put that in the deal too.
I think that they've got.
Has to be first rounder.
I think it's pick 13 that they've got, and I reckon if they can send pick 13 and then pick 26 or pick 33, I reckon that'd be a pretty fair deal for those two. But I'd rather keep Stevenson, to be honest.
I reckon that could be a bit of overs, pick 13.
You reckon?
Regardless of Stevenson's form, I still think when he's fit, he's one of the best small forwards in the comp. So I feel like late first rounders for him.
Yeah, I think late to very early second round, plus another pick to get Tom Phillips.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, his best footy's like pretty good. Like, remember in his year, everyone was going, why wasn't he pick one? So
yeah, true. I don't mind it. That is true. Yeah, that'll be a big loss for the Pies if you lose him, to be honest.
And also last year, he had a good year. Like, he missed 10 games because of the suspension, but when he played, he kicked 24 goals in 14 games. So he's kicking 2 goals a game. And then this year, obviously had his struggles with glandular fever, so missed preseason, and then obviously in the hub. I reckon that whoever gets in, hopefully it's us that keeps him, is going to have a very good player.
Yeah, glandular fever really screws you over. You lose all your energy, and then he couldn't build up his trading base in the hub, so of course it's going to be hard for him.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see how that one plays out. Moving on to the biggest signing of the trade period, potentially, Jeremy Cameron. So, yeah, obviously, has been well publicised. Geelong's offered 2 first-round picks, 13 and 15. And, yeah, what do we think? Is Geelong going to budge? Is GWS going to budge? Will Geelong offer more? Or what are our thoughts? How is it going to pan out? I think that, personally, that Geelong should just give up. If obviously, they're going for a flag with the players they're going for. So I reckon they should just give up their 3 first-round picks for Jeremy Cameron. I reckon that'll get the deal done.
Overs.
You reckon that's overs?
In my opinion.
Why though? If they're going for it,
3 first-round picks is over.
Yeah, it's not one top 10 pick though. That's the problem. Sorry, pick 20 is an early second-round pick actually, not a first-round pick. So it'd be 13, 15, and 20.
Yeah,
maybe
I think that's
plus Jeremy Cameron in like a future third rounder or something. Pardon?
I reckon, dude, he's 27. Like he's got 4 years of good footy, 5 years, 3 first rounders. That's huge. Like,
yeah, the point is the point is
the same territory.
If they get him, it's probably got to win him a flag though if they pick him up. So.
But he and Ben Brown, in my opinion, are on par. Like I reckon they've both been top 3 in the column the last few years. They both had bad years. Ben Brown goes for a second-round pick, and they want 3 first-rounders for Cameron. They're the same age as well.
I reckon Jeremy Cameron's the best sport in the league by a mile. I reckon no one is as good as Jeremy Cameron. He's agile, he's tall, he's a good kick.
Let's think about it this way. North Melbourne have struggled for the last few years, and he's managed to be second in the Coleman for consecutive years and 4th in the other year.
No, yeah, I know
if they switch clubs, Ben Brown is winning 3 Colemans in a row.
Oh, he might. I don't know. I still disagree. I think Jeremy
he-
Cameron's got a lot more X factor, whereas Ben Brown's just like one dimensional because he just leads straight out. Whereas Jeremy Cameron could do a lot more than that.
Oh, you gotta think about
but to
it.
be
You're
fair,
in the forward line to kick goals. That's what Ben Brown does. Jeremy Cameron hasn't been great at that recently.
No, fair enough. No, I respect that. I don't know. Who knows?
I think the picks are fine, but I tend to agree when you come from the Ben Brown situation, I tend to agree that those 3 picks is overs. I agree Jeremy Cameron's better than Ben Brown, but I don't agree he's that much better than Ben Brown.
No, I don't think he's that much better, but I think North Melbourne shopped him around, so it's their own fault what they got for him. If they didn't shop him around and Ben Brown just announced himself he wanted to get traded, they could have got a better deal, I reckon.
And I just got an update here from Sportsbet. Jeremy Cameron deal is going down to the wire. It is believed the Cats have got cold feet after finding out that he's only 27. Huge news. Imagine. That's quality from Sportsbet there.
That's great.
All right. We'll move on to the next one now. Orazio Fantasia. He wants to go to Port Adelaide.
Wow.
Clubs are in a bit of a standoff. What do you reckon? Is Essendon waiting to get the Dunkley deal done before they get this Fantasia deal done? Is that why it's taken so long?
I think the Doro is the reason why this is taking too long.
I think Essendon are trying to get the. Obviously, there's another guy. I reckon they're trying to get Jai Caldwell first before focusing on Orazio.
Yeah, but see, will they need that pick from the Power to get him, or do they have a pick already that they could use?
Yeah, I don't know.
They have a pick. They have picks already, I believe, but pick 29 isn't enough to get Caldwell, in my opinion.
No way.
Yeah, it's hard to say because Caldwell hasn't really played enough yet. So it's really hard to know.
What we know is a top 10 pick that has been starved for opportunities, and when he's played well. So I think that he's worth a fair amount, but at the same time, right? This is what I'm thinking about, right? He's 1 year younger, so he's 20 years old than Jaden Stevenson, yeah, right? And he's been starved for opportunity, and when he's played all right, yeah. Jaden Stevenson has won a rising star in his first year, kicked 40 goals as an 18-year-old, and kicked 25 goals or 24 goals in his second year in like 13, 14 games, right? And you're saying that he's worth the same, if not as much as Caldwell, even though he's already been proven at the AFL level.
Yeah, no, I think it's just the problem is when a club shops players around, it brings their value down. That's what makes it harder, I reckon.
That's true.
Yeah. That's right. I think Stevenson's a better player and he's worth more, but when they're shopping him around, they're going to end up being worth about the same, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's true.
So staying on terms with GWS, Jackson Haitley wanted to go to Adelaide. That still hasn't gone through. Not sure why that hasn't gone through yet. Does anyone know why?
I'm surprised that hasn't gone through yet. I feel like that was a pretty straightforward one.
So apparently, I'm just reading it now, Greater Western Sydney has asked to pick 23. But the problem is Adelaide only has picks 23 and 40. So it makes it quite difficult because he's probably worth a bit more than pick 40, but I'm not really sure he's worth pick 23. So
probably worth about that in the middle. Like the games he's played very well, don't get me wrong. But I don't think he's worth, probably the middle, probably like a 30.
Do we think maybe they might wait GWS to see what pick they get from Caldwell? Actually, no, sorry. Yeah, what pick they get from Caldwell first? I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe they're waiting to see what they do with Jeremy Cameron first to see if they could get like a later pick from Geelong. Maybe they can. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that Haitley is a good player, and I reckon that he's a solid pickup for the Crows. He's going to be in his home state. Players generally perform better when they're in their home, state. So I think that if he gets to the Crows, he'll be a good player. He's played well when he's played for the Giants.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty good for that deal will get done for a pick in the 30s maybe or something potentially.
Yeah.
But Adelaide obviously have to do some trades maybe to get a pick. That was probably maybe they'll just trade a pick in this year's draft maybe, or they'll just give him a future. Maybe they could just give him like a future third round selection or something to get the deal done.
Yeah.
All right, Tom McDonald. There's been obviously a lot of word around him. Now that Ben Brown is at Melbourne, will they start shopping Tom McDonald around in these last few hours? And does anyone actually want him?
I think so.
Who would want him though? That is the question.
I'd take him.
Oh, you take him at the Hawks?
Yeah, I think Tom McDonald's a good player.
Yeah, I agree. I think
he has struggled a little bit, but I think I can't remember what season. It might have been 2 or 3 years ago. He had a really dominant season playing forward, dominated.
2018.
Must be 2018. So he's definitely got a lot of potential there to fit into any side, and especially Ben Brown coming in could cause a bit of chaos.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I don't think he's getting a game at Melbourne, so he needs to look for opportunities elsewhere. I mean, if he went to the Hawks, he'd probably get some opportunities. So maybe the Hawks might throw a curveball in, mate. Pick up a player.
Oh, fuck, it'd be fucking amazing if we could. That Ben Brown deal's just gone through as well, by the way.
Hey, confirmed. Nice. All right, moving on. Bit of a nothing one. Nick Hines. Essendon's keen on him. He's uncontracted at the moment. I don't think did he play, but I don't think he played too much footy at St Kilda this year. So for me, that's a bit of a nothing trade. Will probably get done for maybe a future third or fourth round or a third or fourth round pick this year, maybe.
Can confirm that Essendon offered a future fourth round pick, and St Kilda swiftly rejected that. So
they'll probably have
if that's going to go through or not. St Kilda fans rate him, so it might be up to in between a second or third, I'd say. Maybe
do they just offer up a third round and just get it done?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I know that St Kilda fans do rate him. He's got a lot of leg speed about him, which is handy in the modern game. So
definitely.
Yeah, I reckon if I was a betting man, I'd say that he would be staying at St Kilda. Yeah,
fair enough, mate. Now moving on to the journeyman, big Andrew Phillips. He's played for GWS, played for Carlton, played for Essendon. Now, who offered him a contract? I've missed that.
That was the Demons.
Who? Sorry.
The Demons. Now that Prusy's been traded out, they're looking for a new backup.
I mean, I think Essendon might offer him. I think Essendon probably got offered him a 1-year deal, so he may as well just. I reckon he should just stay at Essendon. Like, why would you go to Melbourne? Like, you're not going to get a game. At least at Essendon, you're some sort of chance because Bell Chambers is retired now. It's literally Draper and him as the two ruckmen. So
right as well.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point actually. See, I'm not sure. I mean, he's not going to play much footy no matter where he goes anyway. So it's a bit of a nothing one.
He's done pretty well for himself. For a man that does not have a lot of ability, he's done very well for himself.
Yeah, he has done quite well to get paychecks every year playing AFL footy, I reckon.
Yeah, he's done very well.
All right, that's actually
at uni. If I was that bloke, though, I would not be banking on the footy career to go for another 10 years.
All right, that's actually the last of all the players that are looking to get traded. So yeah, we've pretty much covered everything now. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next 3.5 hours. It always seems to happen in trade period. It's always pretty hectic at the end of it. So yeah, thanks to the people who have listened to the potty today. We'll definitely do one in the next few days, going over all the deals that have got done today and what our thoughts are in more detail. So yeah, guys, thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, Lee, for coming on in the absence of two of our other guests who are normally on all the time. We really appreciate that. Thanks, Peach, as well. We organised the last second. So, yeah, good stuff, guys. And, yeah, speak to you all soon. Thanks, guys. But now you're gone.